All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and get started here. I guess we'll start. Does anybody have any questions, things they wanted to bring up at the beginning of the meeting before we? Yeah. Has anybody managed to get? I'm trying to get REPL and working with Cider correctly in a custom project.
I use Cider to get to REPL.
Right, but
I'm not able to like use the Cider feature.
You can't actually do anything with it. Yeah.
I've got my first question.
So I've made it work with a completely standalone new REPL, but I can't get it working within a project. So it's just a matter of debugging. But I was hoping maybe on the off chance somebody had already gone through all of the work. But I did use your code, what you put in there as sort of the starting point, and that lets you get. You can start the REPL. You got the browser. You can connect them,
right.
But the middlewares and things aren't quite set up exactly right to be able to do everything. So what you can actually
if I do like Control-X, Control-E, then I just get all kinds of error messages.
Yeah. So. But
so you got it to work standalone? You can.
Well, yes, by starting a whole new REPL with the plugin and then going to the URL that it provides and interacting with it through there, I can connect and I can do code eval into the browser, right? So I know it's capable of working, but I don't.
Do you have like an open source project we can hack on to?
Yeah, well, I'll be working on it later. I just wanted to ask. All right. So next month, I believe John Hume has volunteered to give a talk about a day in the life of a Clojure expression or something to that effect, taking a Clojure expression through the reader into the compilation, into evaluation, right? To kind of close the loop of everything. I don't know if that's a very ambitious set of. It sounds like a very small thing, but it's actually a very ambitious amount of stuff to put in one talk. So I don't know, it might be a subset or multiple talks or something. After that, next month, we do have room for a short talk before that. So if somebody wants to present something next month, get with me because I would really like to have something to pair with John's, probably very technical talk. So maybe something a little bit lighter. And then I'm thinking about in December doing lightning talks, either December or January. So we need to make sure everybody I'm gonna start leaning on people to start playing with something so that you'll have something to present because 3 or 4 small little tools or something I think would be really interesting. So I'm gonna if you're dead set against giving a talk, then stay away from me after the meeting so you don't get.
He's rubbing his hands together.
Yeah, I'm just saying who's avoiding making eye contact and So December.
Quite a few looking away.
Yeah. So I know how to. I know who to focus on. So that's it. Is there anything I would also say? If there's anything you want to. You still want to get put on our talk wish list, you don't feel comfortable in presenting it, going out and learning about it and presenting it, but you really want to know about something, tell me, and I will again, I'll lean on the people who I can apply pressure to.
So we do the white elephant thing again?
So who was here for the white elephant talks? Just a few of us, right? Did the people who did that? I mean, I got the impression that it seemed like a really nice idea because people would get to do something, they would have an excuse to go learn something new and then present something where there's zero expectation that you actually know anything about the topic. But it seemed like that people just didn't, a few people got into it, but most people really didn't.
I liked it. I did Friend, and it kind of gave me an excuse to really dig down into it.
Yeah, see, I enjoyed it because I'm okay, now I can go do something, and there's no pressure to be an expert on it. You're just
I'm not an
I got
expert
assigned this topic, I'm going to go learn it and present it, right? So, okay, well, if you think the white elephant talks would be another interesting format for our stuff in December, tell me, or if you think you would. I'd particularly like to know if there's somebody who would or would not be willing to present based on whether or not we did just, you come up with your own topic or you get assigned the topic. So that's, I guess, so if you would be willing to do one but not willing to do the other, let me know, and that will guide our help guide us. All right, so we're going to get started then. This meeting we're going to go over assuming the other team is here, we're going to go over both of our Clojure Cup teams, presenting what they did, what they used, what they learned, just a very brief sort of learn what they did and see how it goes. And then afterwards, we're going to be doing some coding, right? So I want to bring some coding, like we do our hack days, but I want to bring some of that stuff into our group, right? Like not just like sit here and watch people talk, but like. So Nola's going to lead us through a code kata and talk a little bit about it. And we're, what was it? Code Warrior? Code Wars. So we're going to use a site called Code Wars. It's on the meetup if you didn't see it. If you want to get a head start, make sure you're registered. I guess only one person from every group really needs to be registered. But like if you go ahead and register for Code Wars now, you'll be ready to go when we're going. And I'll turn it over to Dar to present.
Chat box.
Now, so is Clojure Cup done?
It is.
Winners announced?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were.
Will one of you guys give us a tour of the? I have actually after Clojure Cup, I paid zero attention to it, so I don't know who won or what. How many final apps did it look like there were that were
About
actually
50 that were not. Well, they were at least serving a page.
okay?
I don't know. I didn't go test them, so I don't know how functional they
You
were.
didn't try to crash any of them?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, because you didn't have a skin in the game as much this time. And the winner was
Music, which from what I gather, like goes out to a site like YouTube and like scrapes some music off of it. I didn't actually try it either, though.
cool. Clojure.
Looks like they only used Twitter for votes this year, so not quite as many. But it's pretty cool. They show everybody's avatars on there.
Cool. So no Russian mafia, stacking the votes.
No.
At least if so, it's
It didn't happen, but
not this year.
those look like Russian names for the first place finish. Yeah. So that's 2 years running for Russia winning this thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I'll just talk a little bit about what we were putting together for Chatbox. Just a simple little website plugin for chat functionality. So if you can imagine going out to any website, when you click on a page, there'll be a little chat visitor that would pop up on there as you navigate to sort of help you out.
Is that George Lucas?
That is John McCarthy. And so I'll talk a little bit about how I guess we get that chat box to pop up on the screen. If you're familiar with Ohm, there's a root that you have to specify. And inside that root, all we're doing is we're appending a child to the body in the DOM so that we have a target div to work with. So basically, any page that would use this JavaScript would have the little chat box appended to the bottom of the body.
So they don't have to prepare their page.
They would not have to, right? Yeah. And I've seen some other sort of chat plugins that had functionality where you could specify your own CSS so you could get it to format the way you want. So maybe that'd be something we could do later on. So this is, once you log in, which uses Friend, you get to this chat screen. If Brad was here, he could probably talk a little bit about Friend, but what is happening here is it's a dedicated page for an agent that represents the site to chat back with the visitor. There's still some issues with the communication going back and forth, but part of it is working, and Nick will talk about that in a minute. I don't want to steal any of his thunder, but you can see sort of how this was set up. This uses Kiu, which is an Ohm framework similar to InLive, and this is just a little mock-up that we put together, sort of like showing how some of the chat might be structured. And so what it's doing is it's scraping the content out of these two different chat boxes so that it can present them on the page. And it looks a lot better in a higher resolution, but my computer wouldn't match any other resolution except for this with the monitor. But there's actually two different chat structures, one for the agent and one for the pop-up that you see on the other screens. Well, they look pretty similar. And so, after the agent sends a message, you'll see it pop up on there as well. Also, when visitors come to the site, you'll see them come over here, and then the user will be able to select which visitor they want to talk to. In this case, we're just using IP addresses, so the users are anonymous at this point, more or less. So I can show you the Keto stuff. So you can see that it uses snippets and templates just like InLive does. So the chat message snippet actually pulls from chatbox.html, which is this page, chatbox. And let's see here. It's grabbing a div with a class of first conversation, and then it's taking the image attribute from that div and it's setting it to a Gravatar URL that gets passed in from the chat message. And then the content goes inside of its media heading, and the author actually goes inside the media heading, and the small element gets the content. And then similarly for the agent side, we have a very similar process, but there is some extra stuff going on where it's actually, let's see, what else do we have going on here? On key down is being listened to, so that if the user wants to send a message within the agent message div on the page, which is just this little box right here. Just has an ID of agent message. So it's listening on that for an interpress, and whenever that happens, it'll actually send a message over. Had to do a little bit of kind of hackishy stuff to get the visitor list snippet over here on the right to work properly, to set the active visitor within the list. We're actually, let's see here. I had first tried operating on the channel that OM uses. The issue with that, though, is that you can't actually work with that channel outside of OM, because then it'll start throwing an error message saying that you're modifying the cursor outside of the transact statement. So what we ended up doing was setting the ID to the user's IP address, and then actually pulling that IP address whenever we want to specify that it's selected. So that's about it for what we did with OM. Any questions on any of that before Nick starts talking about the WebSockets?
Like working with OM?
Somewhat, yeah. It's not as easy as just working with InLive by itself, but I did like that this Key-O application was available to get the same sort of functionality. The really cool thing about OM, I guess, is that if you're working with a tool like Figwheel, lets you modify your JavaScript sort of in a live environment, you can see changes happening right away. So like, as you save your file, you see the updates happening in real time, and that's really cool to get that real-time development experience with a web app. So from that perspective, it is really useful. It's got a lot of ceremony around its features, though, so there's a lot to learn about it. It's a really powerful tool. So yeah, I look forward to getting more experience with it.
So Figwheel was one of the things that they used, and I had never seen it until I saw what you guys were working on. That's something, if anybody's played with, would be a great topic. Do you want to explain briefly what it? I mean, what
sure.
It does?
It's actually running right now. So basically, the premise of it is that it's sort of like these auto builds that you're used to for Clojure script. So instead of running CLJS build auto, you run line Figwheel, which is what I'm doing up here. And in addition to compiling the Clojure script, it configures a WebSocket with the browser. And then if you modify the Clojure script, it recompiles it and uses that WebSocket to send it over to the browser. And so you don't actually have to like refresh your browser page at all. It'll update automatically. So if you're careful about the way you set up your Clojure script source code, if you use things like def once instead of def, then every time that code reloads, it won't end up refreshing your state atom in OM, and so you'll end up getting a nice fluid experience with the development.
So literally, it was really cool. So literally, you could when I was playing with what they had, you could like change the title of a ohm component or something like that, and then save the file, and the screen would update with live, with your existing data, because it separated your data out from the display. It just puts the new code and re-renders the components, components on top of there. It's like you say that I don't like that, colon div, or within line. Well, with Keo, it's a little it's a little more, because there's a little more work to get your code in, but it was pretty cool. So, but I only basically saw a demo, so I really want to see a presentation on that if somebody wants to dig in.
If you go to the Figwheel repo on GitHub, there's a really cool video that the author did on YouTube where he does a Flappy Birds clone in Clojure script, and he codes it live, and it's really cool to see. Like, he starts adjusting like the sine waves and everything, so the bird's kind of flapping at a different frequency or whatever. Any other questions?
Are you going to add that to your?
That would be pretty cool.
Talk about code reuse, right?
Yeah.
Just take that component.
Chat plus Flappy Bird.
Flappy chat.
Flappy chat. All right, Nick, you ready?
Sure.
Are you running? Is it running somewhere and work on your instance? You took the instance down.
It's up, but it's really outdated.
Okay.
Even the stuff that we're showing right now wasn't quite functional.
I was hoping I could go to a site and chat with somebody.
We can put it up here pretty quick though.
Don't give me a hack.
So my name's Nick. I was part of the Clojure team with Tar.
Cool.
And we do the chat box. So let me get that up. 1 second.
Can you make your source bigger?
Sure.
By chance?
Okay, so I did the WebSockets in the chat application, and let me pull it up here. Okay, so this is, I guess I'll just start with explaining like the functions in the WebSocket protocol. So on the server side, this big function right here is basically, this definition is the like open. So when a client connects to the server, it starts a WebSocket connection and it opens it up, and we can store the information we want on it and stuff. And the other three components are on receive. So when the client sends a message, we're able to get it, and we can send something back also in that same function. So we get their messages by on receive. And then there's the on close, and that lets us know that the client has disconnected from the WebSocket. And that's basically it. It's really simple, and it's full duplex, so it's like bidirectional, and you can talk at the same time. And what is the alternative to WebSocket?
Ajax was the other tool that we were considering.
Okay, this
Ajax
is
long
Like
liberator.
polling.
Long polling is actually
It's just regular, any kind of polling.
yeah, you could do something like that, right?
That's what we did for Clojure Cup
It was,
Demos
yeah,
last
yeah.
year. It was like poll every second. Right, you just make an API call every second and get the data back, right? So this is so yeah, that might be a good thing to explain, like why you are using WebSockets here.
And one of the reasons behind it was that it's less chatty than Ajax. There's fewer handshakes going back and forth, so it establishes a connection and then just kind of persists.
Yeah, it's like really simple. I think it's like the more modern version
It is,
of
yeah.
like communication.
I think it's probably going to replace Ajax going forward.
Yeah. So it was really nice using it. It was simple, and let me see here. I'll pull up the web browsers so I can show y'all like some functionality. What is that? Okay, let me just get it up there. Okay, so I'll connect to the WebSocket on the server, and this is like the chat box. But I'm gonna log in as an agent first. So like the way we broke down things is like there's visitors and agents, and the agent like connects to the visitor or whatever. So we need to log in order to be an agent. So I'll do that. So we can just put in my email address. Doesn't matter. We create a password. We'll just make up something. Okay, then we'll navigate to the chatting. Oh,
I just logged you out. I might have to either expand it wider or smaller because it looks like the nav bar isn't responding properly to that screen resolution.
Okay, we'll just blow it up.
There you go. Monto.
Okay, so then we'll go to chat, and this is like how we chat with other people. If you click on that link, and let's see here. Try to do it like that. There we go. Okay, and on this side is like the visitor. So we'll just like refresh this. We'll have a connected agent and a connected visitor. You can see that the visitor from this side popped up on the agent right here, and we can click on this guy, and we can talk. I think we can talk to him. There's like a bug, so we can't do it.
But that was a WebSocket event, right? Like when you logged in, when you loaded the page over here, he created a session, and then you got a notification.
Yes, that's correct. So what Norman was saying is like when we refresh that, like it opened the WebSocket connection, we saved his data, and yeah, that's basically what happened.
But you can send a message from the visitor to the agent at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so. So let me try that out.
Just
So, hello. Okay, so the message we sent was received by the agent. So it hit the server with an on receive, and it sent it to the agent and also back to the visitor. So it sent it like twice. And that's basically it. And I think I can send a message over here. And the agent gets it, but the visitor doesn't get it yet because there's a bug in the code. But that's like WebSockets right there.
Cool.
So, all right.
And are these two separate? Just out of curiosity, are they two separate browsers? Or, like, are they? I'm curious if this is two separate web sessions or if you're actually like per page session. I'm just.
Yeah, that's right. So these are two separate like sessions. This is just like.
So like different instances of Chrome.
But more than that, like this is Chrome incognito.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's how we like got around it. Otherwise, like it'd be the same for both.
because it would see the friend session information.
Yeah, that's why I was like I'm wondering how if there was if you had tackled that.
Yeah.
But you're generally probably not going to have an agent and a user on the same web browser.
Generally.
Testing, so.
Yeah.
If you do, that's really odd. Some people like chatting with themselves, I guess.
So, any questions? All
That's
right.
cool.
Very cool.
So, commercial product, or what's the idea?
That's the idea, yeah. We could certainly use some help with it. It is open source, so if anybody'd like to join us and contribute, we can use it.
So you put the code up out.
Yes, it's released. I guess we can move it over to the Austin Clojure group. So that
That's
everybody can see it.
possible. Yeah,
That'd be
if
cool.
you want to.
Yeah.
Right now, it's sitting on the Clojure Cup working group or whatever.
But is that public?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you search GitHub for Chatbox with a /0, it'll be the only one, so find it.
Cool.
And did you ever solve the Goog problem? The Goog not required?
Not yet,
Not yet.
but there are plugins for like Google Maps and stuff like that, right? And it uses the same technology, so I'm hopeful that there is a way to get around that.
Just curious.
What was the?
The
Yeah,
problem that
that's one
Norman's
problem.
referring to there is that we use the Google Clojure library, and if you try and use if you try and reference a JavaScript file like the one that we create, which also uses the Google Clojure library, it starts to get like a conflict saying that Google already exists or whatever. When it
Yeah.
starts to try and reference it.
So if it were just raw JavaScript, you just put it on a page, it's not going to conflict unless you have like a name conflict, which you can pretty easily avoid. But Clojure, because it's Clojure script, it compiles down, and you have to have Google Clojure, and it compiles with Google Clojure. So you have to do some complex detection, like is it there? If not, load Google Clojure. I mean, like it's one of the things I never thought about as a potential downside for Clojure script, right? Let's say you have a Clojure script thing, and you think, oh, I'm just going to drop this, .js onto my page. Well, you might already have some stuff on the page and it might not, work together,
If
right?
nothing else, it'll work for the 99% of applications that don't use Clojure.
Yeah, there can't be that many, right? I mean, does anybody use that?
Any Clojure?
Well, sure, because no, actually Clojure's pretty popular because it does really good compilation and optimization of just any JavaScript application, right?
Okay. I don't know, it's just like you had to be very specific about how you write your JavaScript to make it work. So I thought it was-
Yeah, outside of Clojure script, I hear it is a bit troublesome to get to work. Does anybody have an idea as to like what portion of sites would actually use it? Is that like a survey question for Google?
Well, I mean, you certainly don't want to discourage it because any app written in Clojure script is going to use it, right?
Right, yeah.
That would be being a bad Clojure script citizen.
It would, yes. Yeah, so we'll try and find a way to correct that.
Well, on the other hand, if somebody has some third-party JavaScript development experience, with Dar, I'm sure he'd love to play with it. Who does stuff like that in town? Well, Bazaar Voice, they do a little plug-in thing, right? It doesn't.
I'm not aware.
Yeah, or maybe they do it on the back end. I thought that whole thing was like a third-party JavaScript. I'm just saying because one of your teammates has some ins at Bazaar Voice.
I'll reach out to Brad and ask him if he knows anybody.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Although the answer there might just be use raw JavaScript. All right.
Okay.
Cool. Excellent.
Who's next?
All right. So is anybody? Did you want to talk at all about your team, or you want to?
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, just what you did and what the goal was. Here, you don't have to get into all the code and technology.
I got it. So we deployed it, and the commit that I pushed was broken, and it was like 2 minutes from the deadline. So I was like, "Hey, we were so close to have something up. We were so close. I was so bummed." So I went back to the commit before that worked, so I got that running on my laptop. So my name is Nola. I mainly program in Ruby. I started in Clojure in January this year. So my teammates, Brian Dorn and Alexis and myself. Alexis he kind of was our DevOps guy. He got a Doku running, which was the first day, but he got it running. It did take like 10 minutes to deploy a build. I don't know why it was so long, but it was pretty slow. So our app was.
I think that was the problem.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, we had that problem. I think
There were a number of things we had to do to get Doku working smoothly.
But after we did HaveGid, it was deploying like in seconds, not minutes, right?
HaveGid did work, but there were some other things we ended up doing that didn't require HaveGid in the end, and I think changing the Java version to 7 was one of them.
Well, anyways, we might if we had all been together, we might have had a solution for that because that at our hack day when we were playing.
I tried to check in the chat room. There was nobody from the other team.
I
was like,
for some reason the Tech Ranch wouldn't let it.
No.
Freenode was not letting us on from that IP for some reason.
Yeah, I was sick. I had a cold, so I stayed home. And Alexis had to be home for some reason. She was like, "This would just be a remote team." So we just chatted. We used the Slack chat room. No, it was Flowdoc. So
we should have switched over to that because I could not get on IRC the whole weekend from Tech Ranch.
I was like,
I tried.
I was like,
You saw me like bump in and out, right?
I was like, Norman, oh God, Norman. I was like, they don't like us. They don't want to talk to us. Like, yes, I don't know. It was kind of weird. I was like, they abandoned us. Anyways, so.
Sorry.
All right, so our app, we wanted to make an app where you could choose a language and see a bunch of tasks, and you could complete those tasks and get points. And then the idea was to have a leaderboard for Clojure. You see everybody and what their points were. So we used their login system. It was one of the things that the APIs you could use to do logins. So you would register, create an account, or sign in. I already signed in.
So, sorry, what was this?
It's
This was an API thing that they provided
Yeah.
for Clojure Cup, or
Yeah.
okay.
It was so it was a little bit hard to get working. Basically, I had to take their example and copy and put our stuff inside. We could not figure out which parts to copy into our thing. So we're like, Alex's figured it out late on Saturday. So we chose 3 languages. One, Brian was good with Python. I'm good with Ruby. And Alexis had done more Clojure than us, so he found resources for Clojure. We gave different points for completing different things, reading a book, things. We didn't get anything else working, like the leaderboard doesn't work, stats doesn't work, but just the listing and switching between them, that's what we got done, and of course login works. I can show you the code.
What HTML framework did you use?
We use Hiccup, and the layout is, of course, Bootstrap. So basically, I had just recently completed the Lispcast Clojure web development videos, and this is basically how they did it. So it's just what I did. Oh, so that login system is called Denizen. So this actually was pretty cool because I was like, that's the important part that I don't want to make a login system I already made pretty in my life. So that's pretty cool once we got it working. So we have access to it for 6 months after. So maybe we'll try and keep it working. So what we did was we kind of did model group controller. So models, these are our database tables. And we create each of the tables, and then Brian put the tasks into a CSV file that we slurp, that we read it in. We have a table of languages, which we didn't end up using. So all this gets run every time we start up the app, and that was kind of how they did it in the Lispcast videos. I'll talk about this. I was pretty proud of myself because I wanted to do a function to grab all of the tasks for everything, or just to get one particular language. And so I was trying to do, if language is null, then use this query, if else, which is what I would do in Ruby, but that didn't work very well. And then I figured out to do different parameter sets. If you pass in the language here or not the language, to get different queries. And I was pretty proud of myself. I figured this out, and then I showed it to this guy. He goes, "Well, it probably would just make more sense to do just 2 functions." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Because you want to get one thing or all the things, probably should just be 2 functions." So, but I was proud of myself for like
I thought you were gonna just talk about the SQL injection.
Oh,
That was my feedback.
This year, we sort of use the with question mark. They talk about it in Lispcast, but this is what I was doing last thing on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, but don't do it this way. And then we use Hiccup, and we put the menu in one function, the language chooser, which was those 3 buttons in a row. And then we have page that took a title and then a body content. So the title we put in the title tag, and the body we put kind of in the middle, and then we had our stuff around it. So this made it look easy to just make, okay, here's the home page, just says hello, and the task page, we decided to define just the little parts we need just for that page, and that made it pretty easy. It's kind of like how I would probably do it in Rails. Each page had its own middle part inserted into the layout. We made handlers for each of the tasks that called the view. And the core, this is I basically copied some of these things from the Lispcast videos. And the other guys didn't understand because they never watched it. So they were like, we don't know what those are doing, so we're not going to call those. And so I think that's part of the reason why in the last moment we broke, because I had made some changes and Alexis made some changes, and then I merged, and there was a merge conflicts, and we're like, oh crap, I didn't know you were going to be pushing. So we had to quick resolve those, and we pushed it up, and then I'm not sure what was wrong.
So the listcast video shows you to make your own ring middleware like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Maybe he just did that for an example of middleware. Maybe there's other ones you could get, but so it's pretty cool. So there's this fake methods because there's not all browsers support put and delete. There's an underscore params method in there, then it'll put it'll replace that in there and put it under underscore method name. To get it around.
I think the RAPDB is a very good approach there, and I love how you so your RAPDB is basically saying on every request we're going to get the database reference and put it in the request object, right? So it's available to all your handlers, but you didn't just put it as :db, you put it as :learn all things /db. So there's no chance that it would ever conflict with any other handler. Somebody else could put a :db in there. So I think that's actually a very nice technique there.
Good. I don't really understand it, but I know what it is. So these are our, so with Desian, sorry, Desian. There's user routes, which is behind the login. There's public routes, which here's the login form. I mean, all you had to do was just this, and you get the login form. And then the used friend, which I think you mentioned. I didn't know anything about that before, so that was pretty cool. So we put the public keys in environment variables for using Denzian. And here's where we do our create tables. So every time you build the app, it creates all the tables, but that was, we need to get it done quick.
That Denizen friend workflow, did you guys write that, or is that a library?
No, we copied their
So
sample.
they provided
Yeah.
that. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I mean, once
So that's actually quite easy to use then.
Once we figured it out, we were like, oh, we should have just done this first, but we decided to not do that until like Saturday afternoon. This was a file that they had, we copied. So after the user logs in, you get a token. Then you can fetch that token to get the user information and say, oh, hello, Nola, thanks for logging in today or something. But we didn't get to displaying anything back from the username. But that seems like it would be really cool. Guess that's all. And we used some static resources, this is all the Bootstrap stuff. We used middleware to do that static stuff. That's it. Maybe that's got to be in there somewhere.
What are you looking for?
How it showed the static resources.
Go back to your handler where you have your get slash, that stuff. Your main handler.
Down here.
Go up, scroll up. Wrap resource. No.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think.
I saw the script tags in the hiccup. Are we looking for something different?
Yeah.
No, for static content though. Wrap resource.
Yeah. I want the wrap resource.
Yeah, it was right there at the. Yeah, so you do wrap resource. It's just hard to read because you did it out instead of using the threading, so it's not as clear how you're calling it. But that wrap resource static, so you have your stuff in resource static, right? Mm-hmm. And that everything in resource static is served as if it were at the top of your root URL.
So that was cool. So any questions on this?
So but in the end, except for your bad check-in, it looked like you were relatively successful getting something up and going.
Yeah,
and
we were pretty happy, just something working. We were so happy.
I would have pushed it late and seen if they would have disqualified me.
Just the check-in before that is this, and it was basically working. We thought we should have done color scripts so we can do more dynamic stuff. But the other two guys were new also. So we're like, oh, look, us three newbies, figured something out. So we were pretty happy. And then it was such a bummer. But anyways, and then afterwards, Alexis made a blog post of what he learned about deploying apps with Dojo.
Cool.
I think I posted it out to the Twitter. I don't know if you guys retweeted it from Clojure, Austin Clojure. But this was pretty cool that he wrote this up. Some parts are specific to Cloud Sigma, but
So there was not there wasn't actually a Dojo enabled image already on Cloud Sigma.
no.
Okay, so this was so you actually had to do the whole. Wow, that's that's definitely a lot of work. So when Nick showed Dojo last month,
it was like
it was already because there was an image with Dojo already installed. So you're actually going through from the beginning. Yeah, I'll have to read this because I would have no idea how to make that go.
You should give him a hard time about coming and giving us a talk on that.
Yeah.
That was the first time he's ever done that. All right, I think I'm ready to go to the talk.
All right, cool.
So I wrote this talk for Austin RB, and I gave it in February, but it was during the Ice Age, and the meeting was on an evening that was icy, and I'm scared of Austinites with ice. I'm from Chicago, and I know how to drive on ice, but I don't think most people here in Austin know how to do it. So so I did my talk over Google Hangouts to 4 people who logged in. So I changed it and removed the parts about Ruby in this talk and my obsession with testing, which I've learned that is not the same level of obsession in Clojure, because Rachiki says, I prefer to spend my time thinking about the problem, not testing it. So I was
Very nice word.
I was like, okay, but I love testing.
Well, for us mortals.
So I removed all the TDD stuff that I love, and Ruby stuff, and Ruby frameworks, whatever. I removed all that, so I kind of made it more Clojure-ish. So hopefully it will be helpful. So my point about doing Katas is that you train your brain. Athletes train. They train every day. I looked up some training logs for athletes, Olympic athletes, and every day, 6 hours, and I was like, wow, that's a lot. Another thing I think is important is knowing when to rest. I did Ruby for probably 6 years, pretty solid, and kind of got burned out in April, and I took a few months off. So I did some more Clojure, I did some Dart, trying to take a break. So I probably need to take breaks more often from doing the same thing. And so that was pretty cool to find out how athletes train. And I didn't think about this, but musicians train. And musicians will continue to practice and pay for training even after they've become pretty established. I don't know if Uncle Bob is a person you guys talk about in the Clojure community. I don't know that I've ever heard
They're
of
really
it.
pushing Clojure. I don't know if you've been to the 8th Line University.
Yeah.
They're starting to push Clojure.
I know he started to learn Clojure past few years.
He actually spoke at Clojure recently.
Alright, cool. So one of the things that he talks about in the Clean Coder book, not the Clean Code, the Clean Coder is not about taking a shower. Which at first you're like, Clean Coder, what? You should take showers.
But you know, some companies. Just saying.
He says it's your responsibility to manage your career, not your employer. So it's not your company's job to send you to conferences, buy books. You can buy Listcast videos or subscriptions. Has any of you seen Tim Baldridge's videos? He does the short videos, and it's 99 cents each, or you can buy a month at a time for $3.99. I haven't signed up for that yet, but that seems pretty cool. So a lot of times I did go to a conference because, my company didn't pay for it. Well, I should have just pointed up $500, paid for it myself, and taken my own responsibility instead of going, I can't go. What's it gonna pay for it? So, I mean, it's really great when a company does that because it's kind of a perk or a bonus, but it shouldn't be their responsibility. So now I'm done channeling Uncle Bob. So there's quite a few ways that you can practice. You can read a book. My favorite book is the pink Clojure book because it has examples in Python and Ruby, which I kind of know kind of relates to Clojure, and that's pretty helpful for me. Videos at YouTube. So there's an unbelievable amount of videos at YouTube on programming. You can go to a user group and you can be talking and speaking, which he seems to be good at. You can mentor somebody who's new. And you can do koans, which I have a set in Ruby that I like, Ruby koans, which was the first koans I ever did. And then whenever I learn a new language, I go, okay, where's the koans for this language? There's one for Clojure, and they're pretty good. I got through the first 4 lessons of it, and then it got really hard. I'm like, I don't understand, so I stopped. And then I did other stuff. So I need to go back, and maybe I can understand it now that it's been, I think, 5 months.
Foreclosure's really good too. I don't know if you looked at that one.
Yeah, I worked on those.
Are the Listcast videos worth it if you've already been using Clojure for a while?
Are you familiar with ASOC? It seems to have pretty good video on that.
Yeah.
Is it out yet?
No.
I don't think it's out yet.
So,
Tim Baldridge is probably the only option for that right
they
now.
had like a little preview or something.
Yeah, I don't think he's released it yet. I'm sure he would email us all,
Yeah.
and it would be all over, Clojure Gazette. But I don't know if they would be helpful. I could just look at mine if you want and see it. So if you haven't done Katas before, it's a problem that's kind of silly or not work related that you would practice, and it's to train your fingers and your brain to work. You could try to pick one to work on every day for a week. I did that for a week. Well, I only managed 3 days of it. Each time I got further, so it's faster, and I did it differently. I did London style programming the last day, because I mocked out the parts I've already done before, and then I want to go get to this part that I hadn't done yet, so I just mocked it out, and that made me get past that. So I found out it's called London style. I don't know if mocking is so much big in Clojure. I asked my friend, and she's like, yeah, probably not. So maybe it's not an option for Clojure. Uncle Bob says he does one in the morning and the night. But I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that because it.
Kava before coffee.
So you time yourself?
You caught a habit.
That 1 week I did 20 minutes on my headphones, my timer. I just as far as I can, 20 minutes, and then I stop.
Oh.
I got further each time. So that's pretty cool. I need to do that some more.
What kind of problems are you working on for those 20 minutes?
I'll show you some.
Okay.
So it doesn't get boring if you do different languages. I did mine with Ruby, the timer. I think I did in February. You can try different languages. I know probably everyone likes to use the Emacs, or there's like 2 VI people. You can use this chance to learn keyboard shortcuts. Shortcut Foo is pretty good. They have lots of Emacs shortcuts, file, command line shortcuts. It has Sublime, and I think TextMate and VI. And you can try different test libraries. I saw an article today my friend sent me of somebody talking about testing in Clojure, and there's like 12 libraries for testing in Clojure. So you can try a different test library. There's Simulant, there's a bunch of other ones that you can try on Kata. You can try to just write every test that you can think of, just as statements, and then you can comment them out, make them pass. You could just try to write it on paper. Sometimes when I'm like, oh, I just cannot focus, I'll get away from the computer, some paper, and I'll just write out my code on paper. That kind of helps me think a little bit differently. So there's a coding dojo book. So it's written by Emily Bosch. She does some of the workshops that you pair program all day and make game of life code retreat. She helps with that. And her book has different katas and variations. Doing this one functional, do this one object oriented, this one with London style TDD. So I made a website called Kata Club to index all the katas that I could find. I need to update it with some more. I wrote that just before big Ruby conference in Dallas in February, where I was a quote a hacker in residence, and people signed up for 20 minutes to pair program with me on a kata. So some of the katas I use are on that site, and so you can look there. If you don't know what to do, you can choose the give me a random kata and just picks one out at a random. And some of the ones that I listed are also in her book, so you might need her book to follow along. You can also do katas in a group. Maybe we'll try sometime just for fun. So we can do coding in pairs. So we're gonna do today, and then we can do look at me coding. You can have one person after coding, everybody watching, maybe adding comments, or hey, no, you missed it. I'm going to see over there. You missed the thing over there. So that's what we'll do, which is or a whole group where we cycle out 2 people every 5 minutes to one types, the other one watches and gives suggestions, cycle everybody out. Just kind of what this one is. So that might be fun. I tried to do it with the Ruby kids, and only like 3 people stood up to help me, and so it didn't work out so well. But they were kind of shy and timid, so I had to work on them. That's it. So the Kata Club looks like this. The one that I did for the 3 days was the string calculator, because it's pretty simple, pretty easy, and I linked the the website here and say which styles that you can use for that. Some of these are from Uncle Bob, bowling game. Probably you've seen it if you've done any Katas. It's a pretty popular one. Yahtzee is a refactoring kata. They don't have a Clojure version though. They have Java, C++, C#, Java, JavaScript, Python, Ruby. But you get some horrible code and then you need to fix it. So if you know Ruby, you can be like, oh my gosh, why are they doing that? Oh my gosh, so you gotta refactor this code and make the test pass. So it's kind of like a reverse kata, which I thought was pretty fun. And now that I showed this to some people, use this for interview questions when they hire somebody. Well matched. If you want a job for well match, matches code, you'd be hired, I think. I listed on my website Clojure Geek, which has all of 3 posts. Different ways for practicing. Here's where I have my, here's the string calculated kata done in Clojure as a video. And that was pretty cool. Because that kind of helped me see, oh, it's how you set the test, it's how you can get started, because I don't know how to get started with the Clojure on a kata, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, so here's my favorite books right here. And here's the Clojure cones right here. Oh, it's broken. No. Oh, because there's no dash in there. But so this is pretty fun to work on. So what we're going to do today is it's a website which is pretty new called Code Wars, and once you have an account, you can choose either the light, if you like the light, or the dark. I usually code on dark, so I use that. Use Vim or Emacs key bindings. You have different layouts. This might look better for this. So they have quite a few, a handful for Clojure. So you can sort by Clojure. And they have 20 right now for Clojure. I think they'll probably add more. So I picked what I thought would be easy, though when I tried to work on it last night, I couldn't quite get it. But it is the easy level because the easy ones are white. You can see here with the easy, I guess, kind of mirrors World of Warcraft's armor. You know, purple is the best and blue is better, but they should be green. Then they would be perfect.
Oh, bug report.
Yeah, hey, it should be green. So you can choose any one you want, but I thought it'd be fun if we all did the same one, and then at the end we can get Norman and show us how we should do it. So the way these work is so here's your solution. Here's where you put your code. This is what I tried last night, which works for some cases, but not all. So don't do that one because it's wrong. And then it has some test cases. This doesn't really work. Let's do the layout. So the test cases. So input of 193 or whatever, you just trying to reverse that vector. Here's a list, and then down here is a sentence, which means it must be like somehow split, maybe in reversed. And once you have some kind of solution up here, right here, you do run tests, and it runs the tests. And so I think what it's saying is my solution worked for the first test case, which was a vector, but then this other thing, it's where it failed. It's kind of
a lazy sequence instead of a C.
Yeah, so but I have done these for Ruby, and it works really good. And you can write more test cases down here if you want. And once you think you have everything working and all your test cases passed, you can do submit, and it will submit your solution. Then you can see other people's solutions. So that's pretty cool. It's a little bit like the Clojure for Clojure, but it kind of has different test cases built in.
Does it have like a golfing contest?
No, I don't know. So this button here shows you can go between JavaScript, Clojure, and Haskell. If you want to do Haskell. That for some reason now came up first for me, and I was like going, it was kind of funny. And I was like, what kind of Clojure test case is this? And I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is Haskell. So that's why it looks so funny. So we should break into pairs, and then maybe about 8:33. Anybody who wants to show their solution, we can get up here and show it.
All right, so break up in the groups.
I looked for your tweet. I don't see it. So
What?
your tweet, you said you tweeted to Austin Clojure about the blog post?
Oh, Alexis?
Yeah, because I went to the tweet list and I don't see it in there.
Oh, maybe I just thought you'd see it.
Send it to me again, I'll make sure it gets retweeted.
Help me.
Sure. How far, just like kind of nod and say yes, or yes, or.
Well, that's about what I can do.
A yes man.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's not Clojure. It's Austin Clojure.
What do you have to do with join? Like Code Wars join?
That's what I was trying to do.
I couldn't
Then
even
what do you
get
do?
the,
You have to solve the problem.
Okay.
I couldn't even solve.
Yeah, so that's
join.
why I posted on the meetup today. You might want to actually make this name.
You had to
Change this to name.
Got it.
Yeah, you have to solve two problems to get in, and the second one is not trivial if you're not familiar with Clojure
protocols.
records. So it's not.
It seems kind of
Is
stupid.
anybody looking for a partner?
solve a problem.
It's a site that's all about learning the language.
Well,
Not too bad. It was
Can you do it in Ruby?
starting to be not a
.com?
yeah
.org?
not a big pain all the time, right? Like starting to be like you can be moderately sufficient, self-sufficient at times.
What is it, like emails?
9. Yeah. All right. So
Oh, you're already logged in.
I'm logged in. You want to log in? You can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can.
That's my second baby.
Pretty good.
Sure. Get out.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time and energy. All right. So
Where is this stuff?
So you solve the solutions
I haven't even gotten it.
to sign in Ruby.
I've never seen something that.
I don't know if I can do it in Ruby. I haven't done Ruby in a while.
It's your filter.
Here, I'll help you.
I guess it's better than
Here, I can try it.
one of those captures.
Yeah.
Plug safety dead.
This is funny.
Congratulations, you connected to the internet.
To join, you must first approve your skill count.
Yeah.
On the code board? Yeah, I got on it.
You're connected.
Good
Is
question.
it an initial question?
No, the second one.
Oh, it's a pain in the ass. I had to try to figure it out. You want to meet over there? You're plugged in.
Yeah, just because my battery will tell me eventually. Especially, I guess we could give you a piano.
I'm queuing. I'm in the queue.
Yeah.
That's right. Now you're on.
Partner up.
Well, I wasn't pretty sure, so I found this.
Because I don't really understand the solution.
Okay.
Commas are white space, that doesn't. Oh, that's
Yeah. What you guys?
Or spiral.
Yeah, so
But
this
that's
one,
definition.
actually, once you understand what the answer is, it's super simple.
Alright, I will copy this.
But it should.
But I had to go.
Is this what we're doing here?
Yep, that's basically all it
Okay, so if it was an attribute accessor, then self would work.
So you're gonna have to go back and review some stuff to figure out if there's significance of this.
So really, well, right, that's actually, that's the key right there. That's all you have to figure out.
Is it not letting me copy?
I hit escape so many times while hitting actually in text box and see where's put in this room, never had that text box.
Yeah.
Why is it everything multi?
Oh, well, I should tell you that this is a reference, I think, to the instance. So you're printing the instance here, so this is just a reference. What they really want.
Okay, fine.
Well, you can take that out. So we got
Like we could have accounts, a class, right?
So that's all they're really looking for.
I think it's because it's not zero bound.
Is there a,
Okay, so the definition.
I have to reach out.
Yeah, it seems to.
Well, if you want to fully understand it.
Yeah. All right, but then
So this one is, so we're taking this and reversing it.
yeah, so we have to.
No, I found a solution, but I didn't understand it.
So I guess the base case would be tricky.
That did it?
Yeah.
I mean, so effectively.
What's your animal?
Okay. Yeah, so I'm guessing if you.
So we got reverse exam, and then I can say.
But I guess that's the point, it's not.
That's weird.
So it seems like the thing we're trying to do is riddle it.
So we're gonna have to check. We're gonna have to put that
Cool.
at the end of the list, right?
I think I just thinking you. There's like no sorted already.
There is con.
Oh, did your spec?
Inclination is to turn it into a string. Is what
And actually, the solution.
I forgot it's true.
But I did take it first.
Because I don't know if it's get the number king, just divide by
Reverse of the.
math is hard.
Yeah, this was the. This was the solution that we're trying to work.
I need to
So if you run that, the test back.
And you can see it's
So-
also in Java,
Just make
script
something
type of
No,
switch there.
Is this functional? That's all right.
So yeah, so
Expected. I mean,
if we can specify.
So see the top here, it prevents you from using reverse.
Okay.
That's what they were usually doing.
So let's just think, oh, okay, just use reverse, reverse it, but. So I kind of helpful to kind of play in play in the REPL and then try stuff out. This is what I tried first. Reverse seek. I don't really understand. But look here, we reversed it, right? And that's where it worked for this case. Okay. But this case it failed. So like, okay, so what is this thing doing? So I copied it.
Right.
And I pasted it.
I just had to put the keyword in first.
Yeah, I
Apparently,
don't ever use them.
he's not, everything seems to
That
record is not necessarily, you can't call a record
I'm learning as a function. Map is not what I use myself.
If that's a
It is not at all what I use
the
myself.
conj of
You can't say name of food.
No, you can't say name or food, but you can't say food or certain names.
Random length
so go back.
list of random numbers, I think.
Or like person names.
Just,
One name piece.
so,
Yeah, no problem.
and then this other one
I
is
think
a
it might get
string,
me.
so we did reverse a string, so. So I thought, okay, which of the data structures, some of them you can add to the end, fast, some you can add to the front, which one is which?
But this is unlocked. So
Good job.
Here's the answer.
Okay, that might peak.
Just say name this.
first.
Yep.
You have to define the
Right, so it's getting the first, and then just adding it back.
P and call repeat.
How come I can't do, surprisingly, the question?
Just maybe I can take
Person.
the one that you add
Well, I
to
think that would end up working, right?
on the
You can
end
always get
cast,
Taylor
take
do
the first thing, the head,
record.
and add it to
that's successfully
to the
built.
other one.
I guess who?
You mean
He is on, is it John?
Yeah,
Yes, it does not.
yeah, that's what I was thinking last night.
Right, right, just sums it up.
That makes me sad.
Oh, let's just run the
Yeah, so conj is.
Don't you think? You ought to be able to treat them like a function. They had to take stuff.
You have to take.
Yes, you should. So let's say,
It's probably another use.
two methods.
So one occurring here.
All the
But you want to
documentation
kill
in a single.
Right.
And you can do that without loop. So that you
Okay, so that's what comes.
Yep.
Why don't you start on that?
$8 or $9.
You can kind of bounce back and forth.
But you keep Christians.
You have somebody that's actually keeping up with it. You
So-
find it pretty.
Well,
simple.
there's way, well, not only that.
So if I do.
They're actually like stack
So
over.
essentially, we're so
Tight.
you get- so what
Like,
we
we
need
go
is
here,
a key
not the-
version of this basic
The only thing is-
and then you can do that on versions. Let me also hear this version right now. First X.
I mean, these are the doc sets they can present out there to see, like, they actually, we can
Will
actually.
you use or acquire if I need to name sets?
From like Apache,
I'm trying to remember what the job
install.
Yeah,
It's downloading crap, but, you know. Right, I actually,
Go-
you're like,
you want to try out in the REPL?
using offline.
You're like,
Yeah.
code files.
It's free, but I guess people.
What happens is it's got like the,
on person.
we call free at first. People swear.
Right.
They'll say, I'm gonna put you in a 6-second loop. Or something
Turn it
like
into a
that.
seek.
You buy a key. Right, the key's like $7 or something.
Yes, you can.
Map it with
Decided it was
SDR.
That's what I need about this.
There you go.
Find it up later. Anyways, well, that makes sense.
List.
I was kind of figuring there were probably functions that you could use to just.
So the remove-
Actually, it's almost like a
Yeah.
recursive.
Put.
There's a get in.
counts because equal values, hash code, clear is empty, size, entry size.
Yeah, it's using the columns. Returning the tail end of the list. And then just, so you're starting with the initial.
Alright, so the interfaces he has are greater.
Well, that's a good question. I guess I actually probably other objects.
I look up keywords looking at it.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I would just pass it. We could try to come up with something else.
But no, invoke is a function. It's probably,
Does it pass all of it?
Yes. Keys.
that should work. Yeah, keys.
Yeah, so you're
Class. So ampersand colon name as key. So as long as you treat colon name as the
If
function,
you change this to
Maps themselves are
you can't tell.
keywords themselves are functions. But records.
Because you need the result of reverse before you can.
records get turned into.
No,
You need to call reverse, then you need to come back to this.
Like,
I'm thinking of it now.
Right, in fact, I bet you change the definition of the record, tell it to, we need to support the whatever it is, I invoke or
Yes, we could, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Sam, shiny.
First thing that came to me was
Records.
Not correct math.
does it have the?
It's so hard, it's not.
What did I do wrong
How
here?
to do this on the
Is it good practice for Clojure records?
So it's
Using records as functions.
pulling that number into a list of numbers.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
So what we want to do.
Records can't be treated as functions anymore. There's a thread.
It's like one way to do it, because I know there's a way to do this without
So
moving it.
was it possible and then they removed it?
I think this is close. My math is
What was the issue?
somewhere.
You could have possible, this is in 2012.
I was just trying to.
The length to the halfway.
Yeah.
It's possible, doing so that means you can directly invoke.
So.
Well, one interesting
function
thing
is
is
code.
when you first get to the page, they show you
So if we
like
had
this
another
other.
version that where we passed in.
I'm thinking almost like a shell sort.
This is basically.
Yeah, implements associative.
This section is not
Yeah, he did his problem, the other night.
This year.
Yeah.
But from there, we can go to the loop version.
Yeah.
Well, so this is
So,
So the alternative is you have to.
Correctly check it.
Like this is making.
Because
Because everybody seems.
Yeah, or have.
They're using it wrong.
That's what I was doing before, but I found out like
Tail,
sometimes.
the first part, you know, the tail, the last letter. So, the last letter.
Think the fucking is.
No, the iPhone. They're not good. This is. They can come to me. Might show me where they are. And then go back to this. Let's see. Dynamically generated code for a class with register
I
name.
know there's a way to see it this way.
Package with the same name as the current
I wonder if it's
namespace.
just it happens to build back.
Optionally methods for protocols or interfaces. Not sure classes will have immutable fields. Fields which can have type names. Only methods are provided as there's a protocol interface. It's just the bodies are not coded for local environmental.
So basically, it's.
Yeah.
It comes
Unfortunately,
first.
that-
Right.
Exactly.
So that was.
So all this solution
Sounds reasonable.
class will have implementation of several Clojure domains, generated on
Let's
IOPS, like metadata support, microsystem map.
Oh, this is actually.
Yeah, so this basically, I just thought the other way was clear, because you know.
They close contracts are generated to map. When AOT compiling generates
It's like other people are voting on.
you can vote on other people. Two constructors are assigned one taking designated field followed by a metadata map. Or no, extension field map, and one taking only the fields using nil for metadata. The field name.
So this should be.
Which guy?
Currently reserved and should not be used when putting.
Oh, he's just recursively calling the same course.
Given deprecation.
Because they've excluded.
Drives, arrow type name, taking policy
Okay.
parameters.
Yeah, so it's just for a second.
Keeping up the string keyword.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not keyword. Yeah, just doesn't define it.
Yeah, this is great.
So then say it's verboten.
The thing you want to do,
Here's somebody who invents a
they
vote.
give a rank,
And then apply to all, and then last
so they're gonna think of the right way to do
You're
it.
exactly what you're talking about.
This all verse.
So then-
That's what I was thinking, but this is,
I believe he's the same thing.
this is still pulling too many numbers.
So what do you, are we going back to our Kata?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, yeah, so actually,
Might as well spread my.
Since he's using it.
Well, I'm trying to build it up, and then we can do this. Or something like it, to be able to get
I think I see.
1, 2, and
Oh,
3.
because it's partial. You've already supplied components. So you're using the function company, you call it, you just pass it.
Sure.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
Oh, wow, I got a lot of you. Or no, those are coming. Awesome. So listen, let's check that out. I click Clojure.
Yeah, I selected, I thought I selected Clojure, that gave me a bunch of comments. Oh, here we go, my language. Oh, so there's somebody being totally. They're like, well, we excluded it up here, so all the space rights are kind of. One thing I ruined is his laptop, the internal track.
Yeah. So let's see,
Software.
which one are we gonna choose? There's explore strings, numbers, array, algorithms, fundamental, functions, functional programming, and regular
Does
expression.
the product remove it from the beginning? Return it?
Returns a new list without the first item.
The next challenge, there's already one up here.
Which one are you looking at?
So the first one at pops was Untitled.
Is there a Clojure?
Yeah, it's a book.
That's what I have highlighted. So if you look at language. I turned it
Now
on.
go up to, go down to the bottom and just save. Scroll.
That's gonna work no matter what the input. You got it.
Write a function, reverse.
As long as first.
Reverses a list, or in Clojure's case, any of the select data. Which one do you want to do?
Either one's good for me.
So, is there a way to get the difference on
How many, two,
items?
yeah, yours are 7. Mine's unpacking. Or
So the service
create a
function
function spread.
Yeah.
That takes a function.
That's a
and
different way.
You must make this function return the result assigned a given function in lambda with the given argument. Spread some.
I would say almost all of these probably should be saved. You
Can
can do either one, either one of the intermediate.
Yeah.
The range of difficulty on these.
You have to take this and transform it.
Right.
It's just
So you said now you're doing.
Next question is.
Something to apply with the
So this could have just been.
How do we
I'm not sure.
Try that.
Push thread lines. And then I make the train.
Yeah, so the.
Yeah, our whole side feels so much.
Basic function, basically.
Let's give her a go then.
Just want to do binary arithmetic.
Let's do.
Yeah,
Where's
our
Brad?
whole stack
Yeah.
is
Accumulator, which is
They put a clue in there, that's not hitting.
I'm trying to turn my brain a little bit around, because I pretty
Let's
much.
use the same job as this guy.
I was kind of like, well, I need to learn some other techniques.
You can do either one. I like to use it. No, you, yeah, if you're gonna do quote, you need to use quote. Because otherwise it's gonna be like functional, right?
So this is.
Or that's why the first time I did it.
Is it gonna be any?
This list or.
Not really, because I looked at it and to me it looked like.
We're supposed to take any number of like.
I guess I figured, you ever,
To this
rather than
Right.
List is empty.
So rather than this actual, I mean, this isn't a
Oh,
test
hold
case,
on.
right?
Because he's from Boston.
Right, it would just be
Oh, okay, yeah.
Although this is,
ampersand
maybe change this bar.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the
it's a
first
lot of
one, the
things.
first R, you know.
It can start to get confusing.
Interesting.
You can just call it LSD, and that's fine. You just show it.
So this would be,
Second R
we
is
call
a
it,
vector.
we call it F, and then
Because you can start
Yes,
doing
okay.
that. And so,
We just do
that's why.
apply.
or if we want it to be really short, we just say definite spread, apply.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Will it work?
Well, we have to have. No, that won't work because we have to have the arg list.
Oh, yeah. He always says like weird comments.
I think it's
Sort of
ampersand.
Why do you know?
No, up in the.
Oh, because we want the rest, right? You're right. Yeah. That's passed.
I wrote it down. Well, no, with the,
Columns, and insert 3. So just think of it like, so the end of the column.
And then resolve.
And the F.
Well, that's what I found kind of funny about it, is if you can just
And
get
Oh, it's ampersand space.
deal with it. Why don't it's
Zero.
Oh, okay,
Fail.
all right, okay.
Excellent.
So that worked.
Alright.
Okay. So it's- we did it.
Best way to
All right, what's next?
We applied some arts.
Let's do yours now.
But I think our.
So submit finals, are we good with that?
Purpose
I'm
of
okay
this
with
is to,
Okay,
is to.
I think we're good.
I think it could be shorter.
Yes, somebody did def spread apply.
It's the best.
I think this is what
All right.
would most show.
That's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, but I think this is the simpler, yeah, the.
All right, so this
So
comes
it's
in.
What about the args? How do you get args in there? I know.
They just turned it into apply.
Spread is apply. Fine.
Yep.
It's a substitution.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about it. Sorry. That is better. Yeah. Oh, this guy did an about. That's gonna be slow. Cool, okay, reverse list with the. We have to do it without column reverse?
Which I don't even understand.
Just loop over it, or if we use, get rest and a pen onto a vector.
Yeah, what was that?
Something real cons onto a vector.
What is that?
That's actually what do all that. Returns a secret. All but the last return. What should do on the loop?
That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah. What a cheater. What a cheater. Clearly not clearly,
I guess
So that's,
laziness is with this
I think this stands for,
That's most logical. Yeah, so.
That's exactly how you do it. Cons.
Yeah, so just like.
what they do.
That's one thing I don't like about Scotland. It's like, it's like,
I have played on the order.
My sequence from.
because he doesn't need that if he just makes this and that.
So I think it's like you have an like the natural numbers function with the hash. That's the first parameter that comes in. With both set 1, set 2, set 3. But
Reverse.
I guess that's the one thing we're watching.
That could be the next year's Clojure Cup. Unless, maybe this.
No, I mean, if they have all the primitives to do slicing.
Okay, we need to do this.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's probably going to read it back.
Yeah, and I'm guessing.
Yeah, 'cause
because
it's
actually
nothing
maybe it's something relatively new.
Nah, this isn't gonna work because,
Yeah, well,
I didn't know you could do that.
so for each of the,
Makes sense. Either
I mean, I want to.
we're cutting the ends off.
and then at the end, doesn't it need to return?
I think I'm not complaining.
Readers, special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just recognizes when there's no argument.
I guess this was the other idea we had where you get the count list. So there's how to do the negative. And then they do it. Yeah. And whatever, which is an indexing get function.
Yeah.
Basically creating that we gave into the count.
Reverse already refers to
Although
reverse.
that's- I
Take it to be replaced by person reverse. Warning, warning.
I think I want to do that.
I don't know how to create basic.
Yeah.
So we're at a time. Anybody wants to show the solution?
Should we start that now or give people a 5-minute warning or something?
All right,
Matter.
you got 5 minutes.
All right, 5 minutes, and then we're gonna present solutions if we have them. Or you usually get cheat sheet.
I am, I have to, I don't know.
My
I don't
issue is
memorize all this stuff. You got a really tricky one.
Oh, you're not doing the reverse? Okay. Yeah, that was the one that, you can work on any of them.
Oh, I didn't know there was a specific one.
Um,
This is the one we got, and it's thrown for a loop. Requires too much.
Is there like a way
So
to?
actually,
We need
each of the languages, the syntax
I
of
think we need to
Clojure
use,
is very small.
log.
It's,
Hebrew is based on pain.
Log 10.
Yeah, how puns hurt. A lot of
so,
puns.
okay.
That's
Yeah, sure, that was like, almost like what one of our things.
Okay, so here's the issue. By the
So,
time I'm
so
getting
what I
this
would
guy-
do is I would make a, so Top of the loop would be
I think I need to take out
if
that
the
first.
if the number is less than 10, you return a list of that number, right? Otherwise, you return, so you divide it by 10, you're cutting off the remainder, right? And then you call yourself with that, and you're gonna concat the last digit onto that, right?
Okay.
So keep doing div 10,
It'll be like a
quotient 10.
thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then.
Which one's
do
digitize
the-
on that real quick and count.
The one we did was popular.
What?
Oh, we're just looking at the results on the one we did.
Oh, you
We've already done
the
the
reverse one either?
Oh, we did the reverse
Oh,
one,
we've
but
been
then we
doing
moved
that.
on.
Oh,
Yeah, some of them are funny.
So we were just looking through the different results
Yeah,
that
yeah.
other people had.
Oh, for this particular one.
For this
Yeah,
particular
yeah.
one.
Read the, so here's the one, but you're doing a different, you're doing results.
For a different
I was
one.
like, there's a funny one, there's like some people.
So we have
the
the
reverse one
we
just
did-
call
I
it
thought they might be
or
trying
slash
to-
reverse.
Yeah, I know, those are pretty
And
funny.
the comments on.
I couldn't find it.
I know,
It's funny.
Very funny.
There you go.
Approach, right?
Yeah.
We'll exclude it and then just reference it.
And then do happy like this.
Oh, we didn't return.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, so you're starting from like the bottom of it?
Yeah, so imagine if you're just printing it out, right? You wanna print them out. So, your base case is numbers less than 10, right?
Right.
So if less,
Technically correct for the
yeah,
way
if
it's
numbers
worded.
less than 10, then you just
Right,
return a
that's
list
not
of that
the,
number,
yeah,
right?
not the answer.
Otherwise, you wanna basically
See, I had thought
take
that too. Just
the
do
list of the rest of the
one
numbers
list.
and add this, conch that on to the end, right?
Yeah.
So you
Or since I bother
on
reversing it.
quote,
Yeah.
QUOT of the number 10, right? So they're divided by 10, recur, right? And then conch that onto the end.
I think I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, that's how I would approach it. And then you only have to, you're basically only concerned with that last digit.
Why is that age different? I don't know, it seems strange that. There's an exception in this. Supply. Specify. No, I was saying there's the form. We just use that one. Add another. Add something in there, text was not found. Pardon me. There must be a reason why.
So did you end up having to work that Saturday at Clojure Cup?
I worked a Saturday, I don't know. But I enjoyed it. No, I think I worked the one before.
I didn't think you work on Saturday. What did you do?
We do healthcare benefits and service for states.
Going to Dallas tomorrow.
Not just pass.
One of my contracts I work for wants me to come up there for a few days. Come up there in the morning. Came back on Thursday. So they're a company that's moving from San Diego to Dallas. So some of the people moving, some will be working remote from San Diego. And so a bunch of them came San Diego to Dallas for this week. I'm gonna go up there and meet in person. Though we work on we pair program a lot of time on we use Google Hangouts or Clojure. So
Yeah, it's not, I was actually looking at that one a little bit ago, and it's totally not clear. So you should be able to take a more than one arg. Like dot, dot, dot. So var, multiple args like, yeah, to say any number, right? Well, now you have to, yeah, exactly. Genius. There you go.
Oh. Does this mean it's just failing practices?
Yeah, there's a closure. There's something in this. But I always think like, well, like the point of these problems is not to know that your problem is solved by a library function. Is to
Cat.
So that's it.
So it looks like everybody's working, but they generally want us to be out of the room at 9-ish. So I guess if anybody has something they want to show or ask a question, now would be the time.
So when they pass in,
or we could just keep working until the time comes. Did you get your digitize?
Nope. Okay, I think I'm closer.
off by one error. So that was their trick here, is they're just trying to trick. They're saying it's.
Your N is your first argument. It's for the recurrent, right? So you're recurring on the new number.
No, it would work for the close one. Actually, it's code.
And why are you fighting me? operating system that gets emails.
You said that like it's a bad thing.
I have an operating system.
Yes, but is your operating system also marginally good at editing text? I mean, you have to put things in perspective.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, but there were certain things like just one character. One character. Huh. Wow. Stuff. List the
You have a base case on
So the EPL, it's still on, there's some language called J.
Case will be that it was less than 10. I forget how to add a window now.
I used to do this typing tutor thing when I was a kid. And then like you start to scroll down from the side. Which one I can type fast. So there should be something like that. Just to set it up on the Clojure.
Lambdas are like coming down.
You have to type out there as little. Yeah, two.
Lambda invaders.
That probably makes sense.
Figure it out.
You type the answer and it shoots the wrong one. Oh no, I got the wrong one.
That's a good
Yeah, I don't know, sometimes with these. Tracy, yeah, you got the good ones and then like you're capturing people or something. You shoot the ones with the wrong expression and you know, it drops your person on the ground and it splats or something. All right, I think we've got our Clojure Cup game submission idea for next year. You got that door of Lambda invaders.
Keep at it.
What's the premise of this game?
Every day, a little bit.
Typing tutors or the words would drop down from the sky.
Yeah,
You can type a whole
This is this website.
Best expressions fall down from the sky.
Our computer, you put your
Functions, and you have to
tasks
type out
and
what
then
they
you level up your little guy.
Sequencing to be.
So I have
That's
a
real good.
little Clojure. Whether that's reading a book, a little bit, watching a video, reading a little bit.
Yeah, that layer.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have some penalty like for getting the wrong one, so there should be other ones with like similar answers that you like use points if you did, right?
Okay.
Good guy. There's good language.
I was actually just
There's a
Have you tried
authentication library in Java called
I
Shell.
haven't, because that's,
what I would do is you get.
Heard of that.
Right.
It's part of my life.
Core OS, so
It seems like a statement. If it's less than 10, we just.
yeah, I installed,
I also do, I have a couple. I learned about this function composition, so just.
Yeah, that is the nice thing about some of the solutions.
Just
is they
thought right there.
show you something.
I never think about it.
Now
they've got like whole development.
I did quit.
GWT?
On digital, on it has.
Abomination. Because
You just say.
you can use Java to freaking write HTML and JavaScript.
Digital Ocean is like.
So if you have something else after.
Yeah.
yeah, I installed a version.
So did you get a reverse?
I have these.
No, we can't get anywhere past my R6 that doesn't work.
I use my foreclosure solution.
Yes. Does anybody have a working reverse they want to show?
Parallels.
Not as good as your for parts.
Alright. Well, is it gonna work with that?
Yeah. We gotta.
We're gonna
So keep returning the last.
What?
we have to leave.
In just a minute, but we're gonna do the. For the benefit of whoever. Wait, what do you need? DVI?
I think I can do that.
Oh, sorry.
Or do you have mini display?
The old school. Mini display. Mini display.
Just gonna the Thunderbolt mini display.
Oh, here.
All
I
right.
mean, there's a possibility.
Okay, so now I gotta go.
Let's find the problem.
Central Texas, you know, my family's been here since the 30s. They're from Jersey.
Nice. We got an awesome solution to digitize.
You got it?
Now they're not coming back.
Excellent.
I would not have gotten that without your help.
Well, for our thing last year, our Clojure Cup thing, it was actually a program problem, one of our programming problems. It was basically like this. Yeah, that's
Is there a way to see my own solution?
Has to have everything. You know how
I don't know if it saves your solution.
weekend.
My solution's gone, so I guess we have to look at other people's.
It molds in here. Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's solution.
Okay, so normally I would think to put that on the accumulator, but yeah, you don't need the accumulator.
It's almost like a concealed carry.
Oh, no, you didn't say that.
Actually, it's cool. It's a double thing.
Yeah.
Holsters on each other. One's for the wall.
I looked at some of the solutions for it, I did basically looping on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
we
didn't
didn't
actually
actually
record
record
this.
this.
I got 6+.
Yeah,
Java.
we're 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 3.
Yeah, see, I did basically the same thing, except for instead of a loop by,
Maybe just a
non-Terry person. Yours is efficient, whereas mine would need to blow the stack, but that's the basic idea.
I actually worked for 4.
You can, it just will make stack, it builds the stack. So otherwise you have to use exactly, like, you can either recur, like I have to make a variatic and recur, or like he's showing here. So we did ours, and said, so I did it the straight way, then I made the variatic version, and then he created the loop version, which is but oftentimes I work myself into a loop for, by doing the inefficient one first.
Particularly after I jumped back where the laptop is just so much better.
But if you look at the sample solutions, a lot of the people sort of,
this is
it's almost to say cheat, but they turned it into a string and then just iterated over the characters and turned the characters to numbers.
There's some other solutions that are easier.
Conch has to be listed in the item.
The other thing I hate is the battery life.
It's a list or something.
Does the first argument to the conch have to be a list?
It could be a vector or, so are you using a vector or a list? Yeah, change it to a list. And then you'll get the
I left it, ran on battery for like half an hour to be like,
Conch is fine.
5%, I think.
I was just redoing my changes.
We're getting it out in the first week.
Let's just add it in a different order.
Well, it's probably just the battery's dead. No, I got a brand new one.
Like that.
Maybe they sold me a.
Yeah, so that's,
Vectors added to the.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna fix or reverse it, but Conch adds it in the most efficient way to that data structure.
Apply this
which is both brilliant and terribly
Annoying.
annoying.
I have a vector that I want to put it here, and I can't put it here.
Okay.
And this is what it's going to iterate on. So basically,
Whereas my other brand.
it does this
After I start typing.
basically because it's crazy.
So that's probably not good.
We'll just build this.
What did it tell you?
And just have to come back with
Yeah, this is the best version of these, because if you think about what you're doing here, if this is a list, if it's not a vector, if it's a list coming in, the conj does the equivalent of a cons, right? And so if cons takes 2 arguments, right, it's consing in reverse.
Driving to work. I said I have to make a drive image. Oh, yeah.
It's reversing because it can. Let's say.
Although
Cons goes the other way.
no, I always wait.
No, it works.
Like I can't take the
All
time
right.
to be off.
All right,
All right, so we should be heading downstairs. You're more than welcome to continue coding downstairs, but we should be good citizens and.
Oh, we know we got it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
In your heart, in the REPL of your heart. The solution doesn't.
Evaluation and like
It's called quit.